Hello, hello, hello. We're back. Maybe we shouldn't be back, but we're back anyway. Complexity doesn't know I'm doing this. I didn't tell them. I'm just doing it because they're still paying me. So I do my job to the full extent of my abilities. Cool. Is anyone here? Are we actually streaming to anyone? I realize that I realized that we kind of all said goodbye last week, and here we are yet again. So we will carry on, and we will get stuff done. And yeah, I mean, haven't really prepared for this because I wasn't really thinking I was going to be doing it this week. So nothing's really been in my brain of like, I'll talk about that this week. But there are definitely some things to talk about. Uh, Certainly, one thing to talk about is I guess the recent drama with PGL, which we can jump into a bit later. I think it'd be nice to recap Draculan, and yeah, there's a few more things. Have we got anyone in the chat today? I feel like the viewership numbers are a lot lower than they usually are, but that is also completely acceptable considering the circumstances. Um, uh, where should we start? Let's think. Let's start with Draculan, right? Let's start with Draculan. Um, let's have a look at Draculan. So, Draculan Season 1, because obviously they have announced a second event, which I think will go down very well with teams. So, Draculan Season 1. We're using HLTV this week. No hatred against Wikipedia. I was on HLTV already, so I just clicked on it. Cool. Yeah, so I was at this event because, as we all know, Passion UA, our former boys here at Complexity, were in attendance, and I had booked and paid for all of the flights for all of our guys, including my own, and hotels, and they were all non-refundable. So it was either waste the flights in the hotel and not go, or go and do something, see people, help me. Obviously, I wanted to make sure the Passions guys were okay. We're still obviously aiding them in any of the transitional aspects of the deal to make sure that they have everything they need. So it was nice to be there to make sure that they could check into the hotels and they didn't have any issues with the bookings we made and all that kind of stuff. And then, obviously from my own perspective, potentially some networking or whatever there was to do. I thought rather than waste an opportunity, I might as well try and go. So, yes, I went, and it was a fun event. I ended up, as as some of you may know, I ended up doing a kind of mini. Here you go. I've got it here. A mini kind of. Coverage for HLTV because I basically just reached out to HLTV and said, hey, who have you got covering this event, if anyone? And they said, we haven't got anyone. It's kind of a event too small for them to cover. So it does say former Complexity GM here. Technically not former yet. Still am technically the GM of Complexity Counter-Strike. But yeah, again, I suspect it will end soon enough, but as of right now, it hasn't. They're still paying me, so I'm here. No hard feelings or anything. I just do my job until I'm told I don't have one. So yeah, in the end, I ended up just doing like some interviews with some of the teams, and just trying to help aid the coverage. I thought, like, I'm there and I have a camera and I have a microphone and I have stuff, so why not help out? So did an interview with JW, did some other interviews with people. I took photos. Yeah, it was a fun, little video of some of the teams winning. Yeah, it was a fun little event. Got some nice photos. Actually, I'm quite proud of some of the photos I took, considering I'm not a photographer. So yeah, managed to do a bit of a dual role out there. Oh well, that was the wrong button. I want to click this button. But we could recap the event quickly. So the open qualifier, this part. Yeah, I mean, Monty made it all the way from the open qualifier to the final. Ents made it from the open qualifier to third place. Eyeballers made it from the open qualifier to fifth, sixth place. They upset quite a few teams. 9 also made it from the open qualifier to fourth place. So yeah, I mean, second, third, and fourth all came from the open qualifiers. Obviously, Nip, pretty big disappointment for them. Going out 0-2. Same for Passion UA going down 0-2. I don't expect Gentle Mates expected to go down 5th, 6th. So I think there's a lot of the high seeds there are going to be very, 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 very upset with their performances. Considering, wait, can you guys not see what I'm looking at? No, what the hell are you? Hold on. What's it showing? What the hell? Hello? This isn't... Sorry, I just checked the stream and this is not what I'm showing. What is going on here? Stop screen sharing. Screen share. Draculan. Right. Hold on. I'm going to put you guys up on my second screen now so I can actually see that it is updating because I don't know what's going on there, but... Hey, there we go. Right. Now it's updating. Yeah, I covered most of the bracket there anyway. But yeah, you can see it for yourself if you want to remind yourself what happened. Fnatic cruised in some ways. I mean, some of the games were quite close, but they felt like they were playing really good Counter-Strike, so they kind of cruised their way to first place. I think they're probably quite happy that, you know, teams like Nip, teams like Gentlemates, teams like Passions obviously didn't play to the best of their abilities, which probably helped them out. I was quite impressed by 9. I thought 9 played some good Counter-Strike. They played pretty fearless and pretty aggressive Counter-Strike, and now now they've lost Fuzi. So we can cover that as well in a bit. But yeah, I thought he was a pretty good player for them. I haven't checked any of the stats or anything for this event, so I have no idea who the top players were. But it felt like Fuzi had a pretty good game. Okay, not great, not shit. Probably not good enough for an AWPer. But anyway, he's going back to Wildcard. Wildcard have recalled him. You can see that right here. We'll click over to that one in a second. So who were the big hitters at this event that actually made like the top event? Jambo had a pretty solid event. Miltzy from Ents, that's not surprising, but you know, not the person that I would have expected to be at the top of that list. Blame F, obviously a good event. Boomas, nice big event on him and Monty. JT, over 4 maps that they lost, all 4 maps, somehow had a incredible event. Interesting. That usually is a very bad sign. From my experience, if JT is your number 1 top fragger, usually it means that the team isn't playing that well. U-Jerks from Nip. Again, U-Jerks from Nip also, despite losing 2 series back-to-back, pretty high on their list. This is obviously the new rating 3.0, so it's hard for me to conceptualize some of it at the moment. But yeah, seems like everyone had a pretty good event overall from all the teams. I certainly had a good time. I thought it was a good first attempt, if that's the kindest way to put it, because, you know, it wasn't perfect. There was some tech issues, you know. But what I will say is that the team behind the event were extremely accommodating. They did a really good job at like trying to make sure everything was going correctly. They asked me quite a few times, like, hey, are we compliant with the VRS? Is this the right thing to do? You know, is this going to get us in trouble? And, you know, I like the fact that they were willing to ask and accept that they didn't know, they weren't experts, and that they would rather not make a mistake and, you know, sort of own up that they didn't necessarily know if they were making the right decision. So that was quite a nice thing for me, at least. Obviously, ideally, we'd get everyone to the point where they know themselves, but I also fully understand that it could be very confusing. So, you know, credit to them for actually like sort of saying like, hey, we're not 100% sure if this is VRS compliant. Can we do this? Is this okay? Kind of thing. They had a lot of weird issues around their event when it came to other teams like Fnatic, for example. Fnatic were playing the Blast Open, and you had I think 9 were playing in something as well, right? 9 were playing in 9 were playing in Challenger League during the weekend. They had to forfeit one game, but they played against Paravision afterwards. So 9 were playing in Challenger League. Fnatic were playing Blast. I think a few other teams were also playing some online events. So they wanted to be really careful about there's a rule in the TOR that says that you can't provide something to teams that if you provide something to some teams, you have to provide it to all the teams. And they were very concerned about if we let the one team play from this from this boot camp location, is it going to break the tour and stuff like that? And we figured it all out and made a solution that worked for everyone. So everything went fine, and it was good that they were asking, at least, rather than sort of just jumping in headstrong and maybe getting it wrong. I took some photos. These are all my photos. Every single one of these photos I took. So I was quite pleased with some of these. There's some quite funny photos in here that I quite liked. I like the ones of Cypher. Cypher takes good photos. This guy, he puts his monitor so far back that you can get a really good wide angle. I just wish he'd taken his t-shirt off his back of his chair, because they would have looked a bit nicer then. But Cypher takes good photos because he sits so far back. Blame F is almost impossible because he sits so close. Where's the photo that I really liked? I think it might be on day 2. It was one of Regon and NK. This one. He was just so surprised by what one of his teammates had done, and you can see NK in the back just what the how does that? I don't know what the play is. I didn't watch any of the games because I was taking the photos, so I don't know what this play was. But apparently it was really good, and got a nice photo out of it. Yeah, this is the one photo I took of Nip basically during their game, and it's just Snappy being depressed after losing or during losing. Regon knows how to take photos. He poses for the camera. That was quite fun. Yes, Archon Joe, you still get the Untitled CS Show because I'm still a complexity. I'm not an employee. What am I? I am an complexity. I'm still the GM of Complexity Counter-Strike, and therefore I'm still getting paid, and therefore I still work. Simple as that. Cool. So that about covers Draculan. I had good fun. It was a really nice event. I think teams are gonna be quite happy with going to their events. I'm sure the next one will be another step above. They'll figure out some of the tech issues, and they'll learn. It was the first time they've ever run an event of sort of that caliber. So it's it gave me a very similar experience to when I went to the first Elisa Masters event, where you could tell it was their first event, and you lower your expectations a little bit, not because it's unfair to them, but because that it's not going to be at the level of an ESL or a Blast or a PGL event. There are levels, but at the same time, they were extremely welcoming, extremely accommodating, trying to fix as many issues, figure out the problems, take on board feedback and things like that. So I'm sure the next event they'll have figured out some of the issues, and I'm sure the next event will be really good. I hope they sell out the event. I think they're pretty close, actually. Let's have a quick look. Draculan. Number 2. Here we go. Draculan number 2. So they're looking to get 32 teams, and I think the event runs quite a long time. Yeah, it runs for a long time if they get the extra teams, they run for quite a long time. And right now they've got Romanian Legends, Ents, Passions. This is Achieve Minds. I think that's some of the old big players. Nexus, Mana. So Mana and Nexus were both there before. NIP, but NIP, I think that could be the academy team. I think it could be the academy team that goes to NIP, because NIP have signed up for this and Birchland, I think it's called. Birchland? No. There's another event at the same time. Oh, it's this one. It's in Poland. I can't remember which one it's called. It's in Poland. What is it called? Oh no, is it Birch Cup? Oh wait, has Draculan? What the hell is going on here? I think it might be Birch Cup. Wait, what's going on here? Yeah. Anyway, there's another event going on at the same time as Draculan. It is Birch Cup. It's Birch Cup that's going on at the same time, and yeah. So they're gonna. There's basically like what 48 slots at these events. So there's going to be a lot of teams. I mean, I can show you. So this is the list of teams at Draculan. And I can already see, for example, like OG are there, NIP are there, Ents are there. And then if I click Birchland, which is, I can see OG are there, Ents are there, NIP are there. We've also got Liquid in this one. I mean, Mao's NXT, they've clearly signed up their academy team. This one says Big, Fnatic, Monty. Are Fnatic and Monty at the other one? Fnatic and Monty haven't signed up to the second Draculan yet. Ecstatic have, Sinners... Big Academy are going to Draculan. You can see this here. Big Academy are at Draculan, and then Big themselves are at Birch Cup. So you can see, I think NIP will do the same thing. They'll send the academy team to one, and they'll send the main team to the other. Yeah, so 9 are also at Birch Cup. Betclick, Akaji at Birch Cup. Like this is quite a strong event. This is quite a Foot as well, because obviously that's the old Navi Junior guys. Kolesi, they're the guys who just won Fragadelphia 19. It's a good mix of teams. But yeah, this is at the same time, so there's going to be a lot of competition. Like it's crazy that you're going to get all that and all this. I mean, obviously some of these teams can't attend both, right? So unless Ents are going to send their academy team, NIP will send their academy team to one of them. OG don't have an... Wait, do OG have an academy team? OG had an academy team. I'm pretty sure they don't have it still, right? Yeah, OG don't have an academy anymore. So OG Academy will not be there. So OG have got to make a decision at some point. Wildcard, notably, Wildcard are at Birch Cup, which I mean, I don't want to say too much, but Wildcard are in a very precarious position, aren't they, Finn? They're in a very precarious position. We will bring up the major prediction documents in just a second, so we can all go through that. But yes, Wildcard are in a very precarious position right now. So we can go through that in a second. Do you know what? We can just do a wildcard segment. So, wildcard. Wildcard recalls Fuzi from 9 loan. Swedish sniper is heading back to the States against the wishes of 9. So yeah, 9 basically came out today and said, hey, Fuzi's been recalled. They recalled him in early August. So as my understanding is that there was like a 30-day or 40-day period where they had to like recall him and then he gets back. Bear in mind that they announced 9 announced Fuzi was coming back on loan, was joining on loan on the 31st of July. If we assume there's a 30-day period minimum, because I assume it wasn't before that, so let's say 30 days, 30-day period, and today is the 3rd of September, does that mean that they loaned him on the 31st of July and then were told 4 days later, on the 3rd of August, that he had been recalled from his loan? So they gave it to him for 4 days before going, oh, actually, no, we'd like to keep him. Yeah, 9 says the two teams have been locked in negotiations around a return since August, despite Fuzi only joining on the 31st of July, but no solution has been found. I mean, I'm sorry to say, guys, Wildcard, you need to make up your minds about this roster. Like, it's beginning to take the piss, to say the least. Yeah, they're currently playing with Friend. I mean, I assume that means Friend is done for. So they promoted him from their academy to just get rid of him immediately, basically. Yeah, I don't know what's going on at Wildcard. But yeah, they've recalled him seemingly a few days after they loaned him in the first place, which to me seems ridiculous. But it is what it is. Yeah. Moving on to wildcard. Further on to wildcard. Thank you, Finn Mischief. Are you in Twitch chat? Oh, no, you're in Twitch chat. This is courtesy of Finn Mischief. Here we go, guys. The major qualification chances. How many times you simulated 150,000 simulations with 30 million matches? Alrighty. Yes, Miller117 on YouTube. Complexity still has me under their payroll, and therefore I am working as hard as possible. Just want to clarify, I don't say any of this ironically. Like, I genuinely love doing this. This is fun. I just didn't expect to be doing it. So there's a hint of irony in the sense that I wasn't expecting to do it, but I love doing this, and I'm going to miss it when it's gone. But we keep calm and carry on, as they say in the UK. So Finn updated this today, off the back of, I assume, Blast Open and Draculan and everything else finishing. I guess main thing is M80 up here pretty much secured themselves now with their wins at Blast Open. Good for them that their forced declines at ECL weren't too impactful for them, so that's good for them. Secures one NA team. Passion UA, I believe they're so high because right now they're predicted to actually drop down to like 10th position, but because Passion UA have Star Ladder, I think they have Draculan, and then they have something else. They've obviously got a lot of opportunities to earn points, so they're predicted to earn points. MIB are high, and NRG are quite high. I think NRG benefited from M80 gaining points and increasing their value meant that NRG gained points because they lost less points for losing to them. I'm not sure if they've even played each other, but I assume that's what happened, because NRG definitely shot up this ranking a little bit since M80 won some games. So I assume they've at least played each other domestically. Yeah, so NRG lost to M80 in the Ace Masters, and that will be why they've taken a bit of a boost, I assume. They also won a single Challenger League game against Blue Jays, which I doubt is the reason why. I mean, I suppose they also... No, because Challenger League... Yeah, they also won Challenger League, right, technically, so they would have got some points from that as well. But yes, as we were just talking about, I guess the concern in the room would be around wildcard, right? 3 hours later, you love this t-shirt? Me too, man. Can't stop the flop. I miss that guy. I need to check in again on him soon and see how he's doing. But yes, yeah, wildcard here would be the concern, I think, for some people, because I think most people, after the back of Shanghai and going into Austin, would have expected them to be, somewhere up here, and they've obviously fallen from grace pretty sharpish. Good to see Skinrave, obviously Blue Jays, who just got bought out, a few days ago, but confirmed today that they are joining Skinrave. They did a buyout for the entire roster, which is, I assume, good. I assume the players are getting better conditions and they're getting more support to attend events and everything else. So I assume that's good. And I think their 30% basically comes from Fragnox. So they need to smash Fragadelphia Knoxville. Was it this weekend? So we'll find out something about that in the next few days, I assume. But yes, that will be very interesting. And then Bestia have got... They're in Frag Block, right? Are they in Frag Block? Are they also in Frag Nox? I don't remember. I'm sure they're in Frag Block, because I remember Bestia and 9Z both announcing them signed up. Are they in Frag Nox as well? No, Bestia are not at Frag Nox. They are at Frag Block. So I assume... Oh, I know what their other event is. Their other event is the Fairy Land, right? The Ferry... I don't even know what it's called. What's it called? Does anyone remember what it's called? Oh, I found their other events. Hold on. I found their other events. I just need to find the one I'm looking for. What's it called? Fairy... I'm so bad. Rush? Yeah, that's it. Found it here. Yeah, so Bestia have this Fairy Rush thing, whatever it is, Brazilian event in Rio that just popped up out of nowhere. Yeah, it's by the people who did the aircraft carrier event, but it's not the aircraft carrier event. So this is basically a who's who of South American teams. You obviously got Bestia, 9Z, Imperial, Odic, and Sharks, and Red Canids, and Mibba, kind of the main teams that are all trying to shoot up that list. And as you can see, Odic, very outside chance. They could earn a lot of points at Fragadelphia Nox, because these guys are at Nox, and so are Fluxo. So Fluxo and Odic are both at Nox. They could both earn a lot of points there, and then they also have the Brazilian event as well. Which one of these are at Frag Block? Let's have a look. Are any of them at Frag Block? No, there's not many Brazil. So Bestia are at Frag Block, 9Z are at Frag Block, Sharks are at Frag Block, but none of the other Brazilian teams are at Frag Block. So, I don't know. At least none of them are at it right now. Iorus. What is Iorus? Have I missed an event? Is there another event? Like, how do these events just keep... honestly, this is just getting... Aorus. Is it called Aorus? No, that's a team. I'm so confused. I can see Aorus League 2022 Season 2. That can't be it. Is there a 2025? Man, there's so many events, honestly. It's getting a bit much for me. I assume it's a C tier event. Oh, I see it. Aorus League. Here we go. In Buenos Aires. 9Z, Dusty Roots, Bestia, and La Champions Liga. So Argentinian event. Yeah, we'll get to Europe in a minute. Oh my god, I can't pronounce that. Devvision. I sound like I'm drunk. But yeah, so this is the other event. So Bestia have the Fairy event. So Bestia and 9Z have the Fairy event, Frag Block, and this event. So they've got 3 events between them. So they might end up knocking each other out. Like, this is like a kind of only one will survive situation, I think. Because if we go back to the there aren't, they're kind of the 2 teams who are equal, right? Like, they're kind of, if Fluxo do vaguely decent at Fragnox, like, these 2 teams may end up just like knocking each other out. What they might do is they might share a lot of the spoils, and then someone like Skinrave might overtake both of them. They've definitely got an outside chance, Skinrave, I think, if they can do well at Nox and keep improving towards block. There's definitely a chance. But yeah, Wildcard are in real trouble. They've had a very rough year, I guess, from their expectations. Moving on. It'll kill all the Dracula and stuff. Hold on, let me sort out all my tabs. 1 second. Oh, there's also much. Where are we? It's also kind of crazy, right? Because the Blast opened, because this is online this time around, and then the finals on LAN. M80 only got 72 points for winning all their matches, which most people would assume, Furia still got 53, and they're ranked 500 points above them, basically. So you would assume that M80 would have got more points, but they didn't beat the toughest teams, right? Because VP are ranked pretty low. Who else did they beat? They beat VP, Fnatic, and Na'Vi. I mean, they should have got a lot of points for Na'Vi. Like, that's kind of crazy, actually. But yeah, only 72 points despite all those wins is kind of sad for them. But it is what it is. Yeah, everyone's treated the same in VRS. There's no favorites. Yes, I assume so, because the stake wouldn't have been increased yet, Finn. But have we actually seen a single example of the stake increase actually being in effect from now? Despite being, it might be in the code, but have we actually seen it like in effect? So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, M80 had a good week despite all that. And then yeah, Europe. I mean, I'm not going to profess to even begin to know which events all these teams are playing. It's also worth noting that some of these teams are playing multiple events. So like Finn, I'm just curious, Finn, did you simulate the fact, for example, that OG can't be at Birch Cup and Draculan? Was that a consideration when you did this? I'm going to wait for you to answer that before I continue, just because I'm curious. But yeah, you did simulate that. Okay, cool. So this is mostly accurate then. Yeah, I mean, anyone below Team Liquid can basically excuse themselves at this point. So yeah, anyone down here, I'm sorry guys, the major isn't for you this time around, but I know like teams like Ents and Ecstatic, they're just happy to be climbing the rankings. They want to be involved in the next set of like, you know, invites and things like that. And then yeah, I mean, quite a few teams already pretty secure. I'd say everyone above Heroic is fine. I think they're all very secure in their feelings now. I know there's a lot of competition to try and get into the stage 3 invites, but they're pretty secure now. Yeah, Heroic dropped 7%. You can read over here why that happened. Gamer Legion, I think, dropped a little bit. Fnatic rocketed themselves up a little bit with their Draculan performance, but it's still a long way to go for all of these teams here, really. I mean, they're all playing a lot of these open LAN events. I know BetBoom have like LAN to LAN or whatever it's called, which obviously a lot of the other teams don't have access to. I'm pretty sure, who else is it? Is a VP and Paravision? It's a CIS event, right? So VP and Paravision must be at the LAN to LAN thing. It's LAN to LAN 3, right? Okay, so this is LAN to LAN 3. So this is kind of the only closed event, I would say, of all the events that are coming up, because it's VRS CIS, so it's locked obviously to CIS teams. CIS obviously no longer including Ukrainian teams for obvious reasons, that this event is held in Moscow. So notably, Team Spirit are not in attendance, but Team Spirit Academy is. It's a Paravision, BetBoom, VP are not in attendance. VP would have been invited, so VP declined. That could be a big. That could be a big misstep. Patera. So none of these teams are in concern. Nemiga aren't a concern. So it's Paravision and BetBoom. Paravision and BetBoom are the two teams who I actually just saw recently. They've both been absolutely crushing online CS recently. I'm going to bring up their match history because it's quite impressive, to be honest. They've both been absolutely stomping. So this is Paravision, like absolutely stomping online CS recently. Like this is a good August for Paravision. And BetBoom, very much the same. Their only loss coming to Paravision, ironically. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously they had a rough qualifier here, but yeah, BetBoom and Paravision have been on some tears recently online. So for them, it's obviously they obviously need to. Well, Paravision are in more trouble. BetBoom are a little bit more comfortable, but for them, it's a big event. And I assume that they are not attending any of the open LAN events. So for them, it's basically all or nothing, right? Yeah, This is it's tough. NIP obviously 60%. I think they would have wanted to be a lot more secure in their position, but didn't do the business at Draculan, so that's a big concern for them. Gamer Legion, I think also, they didn't do that well at Blast Open, but Gamer Legion surely have Fisher, right? They must be at Fisher. I can't be crazy. They must be at Fisher, right? Yeah, Gamer Legion are at Fisher, so they're pretty happy. VP are basically putting all of their eggs into Fisher at this point. They basically have to go and get a result with Fisher to stand any chance. Gentlemates are at Star Ladder. Paravision must be at Star Ladder, right? That's where they are. Yeah, Paravision are at Star Ladder, along with OG, Gentlemates, Passion, Nip, and Navi are the main contenders here, because nine are not contending. Oh, B8. I mean, B8 have an outside chance. If B8 win at Star Ladder, they could shoot up, obviously. Yeah, there's a lot of events, guys. I can't go through it all, but safe to say that North America the Americas will look a lot more fleshed out after this week. Frag Nox is the king making event in that situation, and I say that because Frag Nox is the event that has no European teams in it, or like only very minimal amounts of European teams, whereas Frag Block, the one in October, has so many European teams that realistically the North American teams are just not going to earn points. I said it. They're just realistically just going to lose, and therefore they won't earn points. So yeah, it is what it is. Cool. That's our major qualification standings update. Thanks to Finn Mischief for the assist on that one and keeping everyone up to date. I think everyone loves your little posts. I'm not clicking that notifications button. I'm certainly not clicking the messages button. Right. What is next on the list? Let's think. All right, well, let's do it. I just want to clarify that I have absolutely no eggs in any baskets. Before I bring this up, I have no favorites. I'm not aligned with any entity involved in this. It's relevant news, so I have to bring this up. Please, nobody fire me for anything that I haven't done or won't do. Here we go. It's always good we have to do a massive disclaimer before you do that, but for this one I do. Cool. Silvio from PGL. This is PGL's CEO. For anyone asking about Bucharest and Chengdu, we've announced our dates for events back in 2025 and 2026 on March 31st, 2024. Other TOs announced their events on October 3rd, 2024. They knew our dates for both the events before they decided they want to continue, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, there is a major issue, and I feel so bad for pointing this out. So he linked to these two posts, right? He linked, for more context, our announcement in March 2024 and the Monopoly announcement in October 2024. Just to clarify for anyone who's not aware, the Monopoly he's referring to is essentially the combination of ESL and Blast. So yeah, PGL announces their Tier 11 Tier 1 events for 2025 and 2026 on the 31st of March 2024. He's not wrong. Yeah, the issue here is, you'll notice here he says October 3rd, 2024. Unfortunately, I think Silvio misread the date. Just so everyone's aware, this is the date that's written here, the 10th of the 3rd, which is the 10th of March. This is a European date format, is the 10th of March. I think he's misread that as the 3rd of October and read it in American date format, and therefore he thinks that this was announced on the 3rd of October, when it was actually announced on the 10th of March. Which, interestingly, because he links these posts, if he checked his own post, he would have seen that it was 31st of the 3rd. Obviously, you can't have 31 months, therefore this has to be the day, and therefore this has to be the month. So I think he may have... I think some of his accusations may have been false based on the fact that he misread the dates. But yeah, ESL and Blast clearly announced their stuff on the 10th of the 3rd, and this is further proven by, well, not proven, I suppose, because this would no longer be allowed under Valve's new rules to post like this on your own. But March 10th, 2024, ESL announced their calendar for 2025. This would no longer be allowed. It would have to be announced publicly on Twitter or GitHub or somewhere where there's like a date where you can't edit it. But anyway, there's more to this story. And I feel pretty comfortable talking about actually pretty much all of it, to be honest. So we can do that. So the reason why he's posting this is specifically because of essentially ESL has told teams, and I don't know the exact wording, so I'm not going to quote it like exactly what it is, but ESL has essentially told teams, hey, you cannot play PGL Bucharest and IEM Chengdu because the dates overlap, and they arguably do. So we can go through this quickly. PGL Bucharest runs until the 2nd of November. That's really small. Let's make that big and me small, because this is more important than me. Can I make that any bigger? No. Cool. I can make this bigger. Yeah, it runs until the 2nd of the 11th, right? And IEM Masters Chengdu starts on the 3rd of the 11th. Now, I don't want to be the one to tell you, but you cannot finish the tournament on the 2nd of November, fly to Chengdu, which is like, if you flew direct, I think is a 9-hour flight, and there are no direct flights. So, but let's say you chartered a flight. It's a 9-hour flight. Let's say you did that on the day of the grand final. I think there's a 6-hour time difference. Hold on. I'm gonna bring you guys up a really cool little website. This is called World Time Buddy. I don't log in, so it doesn't save what I'm doing. But yeah, you can see there, Beijing, China. I'm gonna put Chengdu just because it's more accurate, and then I'm gonna put Bucharest, and then I'm gonna put Bucharest as my home, so it goes forward, and then here. So let's say you left Bucharest at 9 p.m. and then there is a 5-hour time zone difference between the two places. You can see here, 21 turns into 2 a.m. So there's a 5-hour time zone difference plus 9 hours of time. So that would be what? My math is failing me. 14 hours. So 14 hours on from 9 p.m. Well, 14 hours on from 2 a.m. would be 4 p.m. So like the earliest you could land in Chengdu is like 4 p.m. on the day that the first matches are played. I mean, you can see the issue, right? So essentially, ESL is saying, hey guys, we don't want to compromise the integrity of our event by not having teams show up to the event. Therefore, we are not going to allow you to accept an invite to Bucharest and Chengdu. I don't know if they've told them, hey, if you accept an invite to Bucharest, we will remove you from Chengdu. I don't know if they've said that specifically, but they've basically told teams you cannot compete in both. I assume the underlying aspect of that is we will remove you from Chengdu so as to not contribute to an integrity issue at our event, which I think ESL are well within their rights to do, to protect the integrity of their own event. I think that is fine. Floofies, you make a good point, and we can bring that up. Yes, so back earlier in the year, ESL and PGL had essentially another clash. PGL Astana in May was the week before IEM Dallas, and basically ESL and PGL came to some kind of agreement. We can bring it up right here. Look at this. Boom. I'm prepared. Yeah, so PGL Astana ends on the 18th of May, and Dallas will begin on the 19th of May. What isn't accounted for here is that going from Astana to Dallas, I mean, it's a 7-hour time difference from Europe to Dallas. We can bring up our little... Hold on, we can bring up the website again. So Astana to Dallas, and we'll set Dallas as the home. Let's have a look at what the time zone difference is. Astana to Dallas. So Astana is 10 hours ahead of Dallas. So when you fly back, let's say you fly back 10 hours and you get a 10-hour time zone difference, it's still the same time, right? So you can fly from Asia and get to the US, and it not actually, you get some of the time back. But this time they're going forward in time. So they're losing time as they travel and lose time. And that's why it makes it a lot harder for them to actually make it in time for the event. As it stands, teams who did that travel ended up arriving on the day they played, like a few hours before they played. Obviously, with it being less possible to do that with the time zones, ESL is like, hey, we're not going to do this, which I think is fair. I don't think that is unfair of ESL to do. But yes, essentially, ESL and PGL came to some kind of agreement on costs related to the flights and all this other stuff. And I said this before. I said this at the time that it was bullshit myself. March 20th. I'm gonna go find the tweet I wrote then, because I don't want to get mistweeted or misquoted or misquote myself, because that would be really dumb. So let's just go grab the tweet I wrote then, because you know me, I like to be precise. March 20th, 2025 to March 20th, 2025. Apparently I didn't tweet a single time on March 20th, 2025. I don't think that's true. Apparently I didn't tweet a single thing on March 20th. That doesn't seem right to me. Apparently I didn't tweet anything. That can't be right. I must be messing up the filter. Oh, I see what I've done. I've done the filter in reverse. There we go. Hello. Here we go. So this is what I tweeted at the time when they announced this. Yeah. And ironically, a lot of this has come true, and we can get to this in a bit. I said they should have removed every team who couldn't guarantee their arrival per the terms of the invite, which is essentially what ESL is threatening to do now. I said it was a terrible precedent because teams the TOs will bend to it. Ironically, they're now not bending to it, and they're not bending to it, and they're now stopping it. So that's good, but now they've made it inconsistent because they allowed it the first time. Other teams have the integrity of their matches affected due to the late scheduling. Not only do they have the integrity of their matches affected, if anyone remembers, so I remember quite specifically, one of the teams who got affected by this was Aurora. Aurora were one of the teams that made top 4 at Astana, so they travelled late to Dallas, and they played Heroic on. They played Heroic when they got to. What do you call it? Dallas. They played Heroic when they got to Dallas. And from memory, I seem to recall that Heroic overtook us and knocked us down the rankings by 1 that following month. Essentially, well, partly because of their performance at Dallas, which was aided by the fact that they got to play a jet-lagged Aurora as soon as they arrived. Now, don't get me wrong, teams should be allowed to arrive jet-lagged if they choose to arrive on the normal arrival time. That's their own prerogative. When you arrive 2 days later than the normal arrival time on the match day, then I would say it's impacting integrity. So, yeah, this is what I said before. Ironically, this is now exactly what they're doing. So, I was right again. Cool, that was nice. But yes, essentially, what the issue is, and I think Lewis Mirror actually posted about it. So let me bring up his post quickly, because no, that's the Yellow Compass. Here we go. This is the one he posted. Because some shitty CS2 news website posted about it, and we don't talk about them. But yes. So, reliable source told us that ESL are taking measures to force teams to boycott PGL. Not true. To clarify, not true. They're not taking necessary measures to boycott PGL. What they're saying is, if you choose to not go to Chengdu, we will be forced to punish you because it's not fair for you to accept our invites to Chengdu, and then essentially, then just go off to another event that you feel is more important. What they are saying is that you cannot play both events. They're not saying you can't accept PGL. They're saying you can't play both events. You've accepted Chengdu. If you choose to decline Chengdu, we don't feel that is fair to us as ESL for you to decline Chengdu, and therefore there is a consequence to that. And the consequence is that we will ban you, or we will refuse to invite you to the next upcoming IEM or ESL Pro Tour circuit event. That just happens to be Krakow, which is a huge event, right? So it is what it is. I guess while we're here, it wouldn't be the show. It wouldn't be the show. Maybe it's the final show, but it wouldn't be the show if we didn't bring up the GitHub. So this is all relevant to this part here. Invite exceptions. This allows a tournament operator that has rules that may disqualify certain participants from their tournaments due to misconduct, cheating infractions, being flagged by esports bodies as a match-fixing risk or other integrity or compliance issues. So I assume this would come down to either misconduct or compliance. If the tournament operator wishes to disqualify a participant, they must publish the disqualification rules as part of the additional information. Now that might be the undoing, because the additional information for Krakow is actually already passed. So if they didn't post this, one could argue they can't do what they're saying they want to do. They can publish the details of any disqualification decision at the time of it occurs. So essentially, if any team accepts Bucharest that's already going to Chengdu, ESL have to publish that within the next week or 2 weeks, I assume. As soon as they make the decision, or as soon as the team informs them of the decision to not go to Chengdu, then they should post that. However, I don't know if the disqualification rules as part of the additional information. I don't think I've ever seen any. Technically, you don't have to post it, right? Because if there are no integrity or conduct rules that may disqualify a roster, I suppose everyone has like the cannot be ESIC banned, cannot be VAC banned. I'd be curious to know what ESLs are in that regard, of what they've written down. I haven't seen it. I would need to look it up, but it would be interesting if that's the bit that undoes their whole situation here. But anyway, yeah, Lewis Mirror corrected it to be correct, which is ESL said they don't see how teams can attend both events, which is true. I don't think the top 4 teams of PGL Bucharest can attend both events. And I just want to clarify that I don't think it's okay for a team to attend the event knowing they are going to miss the first match of that event. That to me is not attending the event. That to me is disqualification, forfeit, whatever you want to call it. To me, that's non-attendance. Like if you miss, to be honest, if you miss the media day, that's non-attendance. If you miss matches, that is absolute non-attendance to me. That's the way I would interpret it. That's the way I would enforce it as well. It then said that if a team withdraws from Chengdu after accepting an invite, it will be sanctioned with one ESL Pro Tour event ban. In this case, that would be IM Krakow. The situation isn't quite as black and white as this original CS2 news, which is why you shouldn't believe these shitty CS2 news websites. So, not going to click that. So, essentially, I think that ESL is doing the right thing. I think that they should protect their own event for a number of reasons. One thing that I think is one thing I feel extremely strongly about is that if you put yourselves in the position of a team that tries to play both of those events, right? Bring down Floofy's thing there. If you put yourself in a position of a team who tries to play both events, you are massively incentivized to lose in the quarterfinals, because that is the only way you can make it to China to play, right? To play both events. It's the only way you can do it, is to lose in the quarterfinals at worst. I think that if you are attending PGL Bucharest with any reason to not perform to the best of your abilities for the entire event, and where your best hope of success overall revolves around you losing at a specific time rather than winning every match, that is a huge conflict of interest. It's a huge integrity issue. Likewise, if you attend an event and you accept an invitation to another event where, if your success at the preceding event, so if your success at PGL Bucharest impacts your ability to attend the subsequent event, which is IM Chengdu, you are then affecting the integrity of the second event to the point where that is why ESL should remove you. The integrity they're affecting is, if they don't turn up to the event, they will get forfeited. Teams will earn points to the event. Teams will earn VRS points for forfeit matches against high value forfeit matches. These are $1 million big matches. Like this could be like 90, 80 point swings in some cases. Like these could be very, very very, very impactful matches that could affect a lot of things. So the simple aspect of it for me is just like teams are being greedy and entitled in trying to make this happen and make this work, because it is a massive integrity issue for them to want to do it and for them to try and do it. It is greed, it's entitlement. That's the only words that can be used to describe this. Like they'll say, hey, it's to compete and everything else, but the fact is it's greed and entitlement 100% of the way. There's no reason for teams to put themselves in these compromised positions except for those things. Obviously, if a team attends both of those events, they deny another team from attending one of the events, and that multiplied by what I understand to be up to 9 or 10 teams who have expressed that they would like to attend both events. Who are teams who have already accepted their invites to Chengdu, who are now saying they want to attend Bucharest and are now trying to lobby essentially for a solution. Not only are they putting themselves in compromised positions, but they're also denying 10 other teams from getting into the circuit. And obviously those are the 10 teams that are literally right behind them in the ranking, so they're naturally incentivized to not give them a shot. So I understand that aspect of it. I understand why they don't want to give the teams behind them a shot. But if if overlapping events doesn't stop teams or doesn't allow more teams to play in events, then the whole fucking ecosystem is completely scuffed. It's completely screwed. Like, you can't have an ecosystem where the top teams are hoarding event participations at overlapping events that essentially you can't play both events to the fullest of your abilities. Like, that's, to me, that's just like a complete just, it's a joke, isn't it? Like, it is a joke. So yeah, yeah. Sorry, I just noticed that Sky Esports Masters was an S tier event on Wikipedia, so I've just downgraded it to a B tier event. Someone's going to message me about that, but I think it's completely reasonable to do what I just did. So fuck them. Someone's going to moan at me about that. It should have probably been A tier, but I don't care. It's going B tier. Someone can complain later. Alrighty. Yeah, what else is there from the fallout of that? I don't think there's much. I don't think there is much else on that topic. Upcoming LAN events is the usual. We've done the VRS topic. We've done Chengdu, Bucharest. Floofies needs more notability points. Yeah, I somehow got my own page because do you want to know the reason I got my page, Floofies? It's quite a funny one. So I coached Godsent back in 2017 for like 2 months, and I attended the PGL Major Krakow 2017 offline qualifier, which back then was essentially what would have been considered stage 1 of the 2014 majors, and that was considered enough to get me a page. So there we go. That's how I got my page. I'm technically there as a coach. Oh yeah, that's right. No one's ever given me that, I don't think. Hold on, what does a coach actually have to do to get? During their time with the team, there's teams are completing at least 10 S tier or high quality A tier tournaments. High quality A tier tournaments are defined as the team has finished in at least 4 of these events inside the top 50% for S tier or top 4 for A tier. Yeah, so I wouldn't qualify as a coach by myself. So that's the only reason I qualified as a coach before. Lucky me. Oh yeah, I know what we can cover. Big news today. Well, actually, no, we already did cover that. We already covered Blue Jays to Skin Rave, so that's already done. Is there anything else that has happened? Like, is there anything else that's happened? Am I going crazy? I feel like there's something else. Touchdown, Navi. Falcon Space War. Who's the team? Oh, Gamer Legion. Gamer Legion. Yeah, so I was just trying to remind myself, because there was two teams that declined the initial IAM Chengdu invite, and it was Aurora and Gamer Legion. Yes, right. Is there anything to cover about the amount of DDoSing in online play in NA right now? I mean, the honest answer is yes, there should be. I've seen the stories of of it, but I'll be honest, I don't know enough about it to talk about it, because I it was all happening in NA while I was at Dracula and all this other stuff. But yeah, essentially, DDoSing is fucked up. Betters are mad about something, I assume. One could make an argument to say that it could be malicious from other teams, to try and stop teams qualifying for the major. I don't think it goes that far. I think it's just betters just being mad, basically, would be my assumption, because that's what it usually is. But the honest truth is, I don't know enough about the situation to really comment on it. But it's a very big shame that it's a very big shame it's coming back, because it's very frustrating, and it obviously affects a lot of the integrity of the outcome of the matches, both from a betting standpoint, and obviously also from a from a standpoint of major qualification and just match results, opportunity for some of these teams. So it's very disappointing. I would love to know what the source of it is. I know people have suggested that it could be the Inui client, because NA is the only region using it for the Dust 2 Eagle Masters. I just want to clarify, I'm just speculating. That's what I'm just talking about, what the speculation is. I'm not saying that is what happened. But to me, I can link those dots myself, because NA is like the only region that's using the Inui client for the Dust 2 Eagle Masters, and NA is the only region that's having their IPs leaked. I mean, I know correlation is not causation, but that in my head can make sense. So yeah, I don't know. I hope that's not the case. But I can see where I can see where that might come from. So what else is there to cover? I feel like there's some stuff that I'm missing. Like what? I'm missing something, right? Like something else has happened recently, and I can't put my mind on what it is. Hold on, I'm just going to read HLTV news posts until I figure out what it is, because there is something, right? Like I'm trying to wrap my brain around it. It's not VRS related. They haven't updated the VRS. They haven't updated the tour. Something I've missed. Well, there's EWC. That was last week. Blast Open. Draculan. Oh! I know something we didn't talk about right now. And, I mean, I know it's going to sound like... I know it's going to sound like I'm taking pleasure in this. I just want to clarify that I'm not taking pleasure in this. But we didn't... This is an NA podcast, and I don't believe this team is North American. But I know it's of interest to some people, and I know that some people will have interest in it. We obviously didn't talk about Team Liquid, and their rapidly diminishing chances of making the next major. I know, Finn, I know that you came up with I'm going to call it a devious plan to get them to qualify via North America, which I'm not going to co-author. But yeah, here we go. Team Liquid. in some real trouble. Oh, really? I'm trying to zoom in, and it's just making everything else bigger, and the image is staying the same size. Can I do this? Hey, there we go. We can get bigger now. Look at that. Yeah, Team Liquid. Definitely on the struggle bus. I mean, they're still in with a shot, right? I'm pretty sure that Liquid need to have a very deep run at. Liquid need to have a very deep run at Fisher, the upcoming Fisher event, if they want to stand a chance at qualifying for the major. They've obviously got Birch Cup as well. I did wonder about that, Finn, but I couldn't be bothered to load. I was on my phone at the time, so I couldn't be bothered to load up my. My laptop to read the VRS code, but I did think that, because yeah, they would just get assigned to Europe, I think, as the strongest region represented by a 2-2 split. But yeah, Team Liquid are in trouble, to say the least. Which, some could say it's sad, some could say it's repercussions for their decision making. I think there has been some questionable decisions over there in the past few years. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they perform. They've obviously had a lot of time to prepare for these upcoming events. I'm sure they'll be prepared. They look like they were playing a bit better actually in Blast, right? I caught a few of their games at Blast, and they seemed like they were a little bit better. Still not winning matches, but it felt like they were doing a bit better. And obviously they had those close matches against Vitality back to back at Blast, Bounty, and EWC. But yeah, we'll see. And yes, obviously Liquid can Liquid can obviously switch themselves back to North America if they really want to. Although, if they want to do that, they would have to do that from Fisher, because they got to get 5 matches in with him. So if they want to do that, they'd have to do it within the next 9 days. They'd have to sign a North American player, and I assume replace Nerds if they wanted to do it, because they have to keep Naff and Twists. They're realistically not going to get a North American AWPer to replace Ultimate, because I mean I'm the I guess I'm the number one guy for saying that there's no top level North American AWPing talent, and I still believe that is 100% true. I don't think the best North American AWPing talent right now is like Zotic, Junior, OC, and I don't think any of them can compete at tier 1 as it currently stands. So I don't think Team Liquid would be willing to do that. They've just signed Shui to a long contract after getting him from Mouse and paying a big buyout, and he's the IGL. So logically, the only player they could realistically replace is Nerds. So I don't think they'd be willing to do that myself. I don't think they'd be willing to compromise on what they've done. I don't think they'd be willing to. I mean, that would be like kind of essentially be pulling like a wild card, right, with FaZe and Stewie, and just sort of saying like, hey, we're gonna break the rules for a bit just so we can get to the major. You're the guy that's giving way. Sorry about that. I don't think they'd be willing to do that. Sorry, I just rocked my table and my camera. Yeah, it's it's tough out there for Liquid, for sure. Tough for Liquid, tough for Wildcard, which is two of the big teams from North America last year. Or I suppose not North America for Liquid, because they were already playing the rosters. Playing the regional requirements pretty loose, with JKS being Asian. But yeah, we're a long way from Shanghai. Let's say the least. Where is the Shanghai major, right? Because that was where Wildcard kind of had their big breakout, right? Was at Shanghai, but also at the RMR for Shanghai. I specifically remember Wildcard went 3-0 in that. They beat Liquid, right? They beat Liquid in the opening game, I want to say. Yeah, Wildcard beat Liquid in the opening game, and then yeah, Liquid beat Bestia, Crew, and Furia, which is a pretty easy run apart from Furia. We lost to MIBR 2-0, and then beat M80, Boss, and Bestia. Yeah, Wildcard went 3-0. Wildcard went 3-0, beating 9Z, Pain, and Liquid, which is a pretty solid run. And then obviously they went 3-2, I think, in the first stage, after beating VP. Was it? Yeah, VP and then Passion, which is again a very solid run. Losing to Liquid, losing to Furia, not too crazy considering their domestic rivals and stuff. Beating Fnatic, yeah, but yeah, they went 3-2. We obviously lost to Big in a very upsetting match, which was very frustrating because we should have won. We should have won 2-0 and we ended up losing 1-2, which is, I could have said that like 10 times. I could have said that like 50 times over the course of us having that team, because man, like we just played so bad on Ancient after going up so heavily. It was bad. Yeah. Oh well. What's the past is the past. So what happens to Liquid if they don't move back to NA? They just miss the major and say, "Oh well," or do they fully commit to? I mean, I would argue, they already fully committed to EU. Like they've already fully committed to EU, in my opinion. The team is based in Europe. Twist lives in Europe. Naf essentially lives in Europe for all intents and purposes. His girlfriend is European, or sorry, wife now. I believe they're now married. But yeah, his wife is European as well. So they are essentially a European team. They live, practice in Europe. They haven't been in North America since they got like dumpstered out of that qualifier about M80 like last year sometime. I think it was for EWC, right? They lost to M80 in the EWC qualifier, I think it was. I think since then they haven't been in North America at all. So yeah, they are a European team as far as I can tell, and as far as I can tell you that's what they are. So yes, yeah, they played the EWC North American qualifier, and they played the Dallas North American qualifier. They qualified for Dallas. They didn't qualify for Chengdu. They lost to M80 in the Chengdu qualifier for Dallas. But they did end up going, I think. M80 couldn't get the visas. Yeah, M80 couldn't get the visas, so Liquid still ended up going to Chengdu. Dallas they played and won. M80 didn't play that. And then they lost to M80 again in the EWC qualifier, and didn't qualify for EWC. So they played 3 North American qualifiers, lost 2 of them to M80, won 1 of them, and still went to 2 of the events because M80 had to drop out of the one of the ones they lost. So yeah. Oh, they also played the Intel Extreme Masters Rio 2024 North American qualifier. I stand corrected. They played, wow, that is the easiest qualifier I've ever seen. They played Legacy, Lag, and Fluffy Aimers. What the fuck? Why did no good teams play this qualifier? I know we got invited, but Jesus. Oh well, not my problem. Oh, hi Daps. Even when I was on Liquid, we essentially lived in EU as an NA team. Yeah, I know. I remember that, Damien, because that was the year that everyone was meant to be doing all their scrims in Europe. Sorry, in NA, right? And yeah, Liquid did not do that. Liquid didn't even get close to finishing their scrims in Europe, in NA, sorry. So, yes. How are you feeling, Damien, about your chances to qualify for the major? Are you feeling good? Obviously, you've got to get the wins on the board. You've got Pro League still, right? That's your big one. Is you can get 3 wins at Pro League stage 1, right? how bad is the financial and long-term effect for Liquid if they miss the major? I mean, that is a multifaceted question, because there's obviously the raw impact of revenue from the major missing, which currently can range anywhere from around about 500k up to a million. That's just like in pure revenue. That's obviously before you share it with the players. I don't know what percentages Liquid are sharing with the players on the sticker money, but I would assume that they're probably sharing more than 40% would be my guess. A lot of the legacy teams are sharing closer to 50% would be my assumption. So my guess is that even if you get 500k revenue, which looks good on the balance sheet, right? Revenue is good, but profit is obviously more important. So 500k revenue, but 250k costs, essentially going straight out to the players, or maybe more than that. But let's say that's a worst case. Raw revenue, 250k, probably not the biggest dent into Liquid's budget. Significant, but probably not the biggest dent into Liquid's budget. What is probably more concerning for them would be, lack of commercial benefits from, saying they can attend the major. I know Liquid are a team that likes to do lots of like booths at the events and stuff like that. So the commercial aspect, you can't put a number on that. I don't know what their deals look like. I don't know what they were planning or anything else, but it's probably well into the six figures overall, like loss, which is not many teams can take a hit like that. Yes, you're right, Damien. Knoxville is definitely bigger for you. I've got this up right now. We can have a look through it. You guys are attending Knox. Where are you guys? You guys got one of the last tickets. I remember talking to you about this when you were trying to get one. And your biggest competitors for this event, obviously Odic, Fluxo, Getting Info. I mean, that's about it, right? I suppose Skinraver there. Skinraver the daddy. Oh, the daddy skins winner, right? So yeah, you've got yourselves, Fluxo, Odic, Getting Info, Skinrave, and let's throw Marsborn in there while we're at it. The Ohio Meat Wagon is meant to be. Oh yeah, I suppose NIP, right? NIP are the Ohio Meat Wagon. This is Ninjas in Pajamas. So you've got like 5 decent teams there, but I guess you'd still back yourselves to win quite a few games there. I'd say at least semi-finals, 2 wins. If you get 3 wins to get through to the final, I think you're feeling really good. I mean, obviously you want to win the event, right? But in terms of like, if you compartmentalize the success into multiple factors, first part of success is qualifying for the major. Second part of success is, hey, let's win the event. I think if you're getting 2 wins, you're probably qualified for the major. 3, you're probably very happy. 4, I mean, you've won the event, so that's great, and you're qualified for the major. So, yeah, I think you guys have to be up there as one of the favorites, right? Like, I'd put you top 4, like NIP, you guys, probably Fluxo, maybe Getting Info is probably the top 4. I don't know, between Odic and Getting Info, like I don't know how you'd make a decision there, but maybe Getting Info and Skinrave, who knows? But I'd certainly say you're in the top 4, so that would be my lowest expectation for you. So right now you'd be seeded. How have they seeded Nox already? They must be seeding it off September. So let's have a quick look. Oh. How is Nox going to be seeded for the Americas? So okay, you're going to be the number 1. No, you're going to be the number 2 seed, because NIP will be seeded first. Then you, then Fluxo, and then Skinrave. and Skinrave will play against Odic in their quarterfinal, you would play against... So assuming all the top teams win, this would be the top 8 teams. So it would be NIP versus Getting Info, Marsborn versus you guys, Fluxo versus Odic, and... No, wait, that's wrong, isn't it? NIP versus... Wait, Energy, Fluxo, 2, 3, 4. So Blue Jays versus Odic, Fluxo versus Marsborn, Getting Info versus you guys, and then someone else. Somebody else versus NIP. That Flom is a very, very interesting question. My personal opinion is that they should not allow it, and they will not allow it. They shouldn't allow it. I don't think I can even access Skinrave on my computer. Oh, I can. Oh, no, I remember now. Yeah, I can access Skinrave because I wanted to check it out. And, yeah, completely legalized gambling for children. So, that's great. Not to mention the fact that Skinrave now own and operate their own team while sponsoring Energy and sponsoring Wildcard. Yeah, I'm not going to show this website on my stream because I do not agree with it. But yes, I think that. Okay, so I just want to... Yeah, they also do G2, but I'm more thinking Slove. I'm more thinking about like domestic matchups in the sense that they've kind of got like NA cornered. Imperial's logo is literally a gambling site's logo now. So just want to clarify. The reason why Valve may not let them have a sticker in the game is because Skinrave deals with skins. And any website that encourages or allows or facilitates skin trading, skin purchasing, or specifically skin gambling is a big no-no for Valve's terms of service, like Valve's overall terms of service, because officially you are not allowed to use any service that isn't the Steam Marketplace or Steam trading within the Steam client itself to facilitate those trades or purchases. So yes, that is why, for example, like Imperial's logo, if they're just like real money gambling, it's a bit different. I know that like BetBoom had some issues, right? Didn't they have to be called BB Team or something at the Austin Major? So maybe BetBoom have had some issues in the past, but that's because their name is a gambling website. So Imperial's logo is likely not going to be a problem because it's real money, isn't it? Is it real money gambling? I don't know. It's Gamdom, right? Top Bitcoin and crypto casino. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they'll allow that. They might do. I don't think they'll see a massive issue with that, because the name is not going to be present, because they allowed BetBoom's logo at Austin, right? I'm not going crazy. They allowed BetBoom's logo at Austin. They just didn't allow them to be called BetBoom, I think. Let's double check that. Let's find a VOD. Where are we? BetBoom. Yeah. I think that's the biggest issue for me as well, Flom, is that there's a moral aspect to it, and then there's the legal aspect to it. And I think from a legal perspective, anything skin related is just an obvious Valve terms of service issue, and therefore they just wouldn't allow that, or they shouldn't allow it, because then they'd use their own major to advertise a website that goes against their own terms of service. Just makes no sense. Okay, no. So BetBoom were called BetBoom at the major. So yeah, I don't think Imperial are going to have any issues. If BetBoom could use the BB logo, I don't see why Imperial are going to have any issues. So I think it's just going to be Skinwraith that's going to have trouble. Are Valve actually going to fix this whole LAN wins and unpolicing palaver? I couldn't tell you. I don't work for Valve. The reason why I remember a lot of this stuff, who was it? It was Cloud9, right? Cloud9 at ESL1 Cologne. I want to say 2014. Cloud9 at ESL1 Cologne 2014, because the first version of all these team names trying to get banned and everything was with key reselling websites, right? Was when like G2A and Kingwin were coming in and wanted to sponsor. I remember Cloud9 were like a big G2A team, and I distinctly remember they were being told that they weren't allowed to advertise G2A at the major, which made sense, because why would Valve want? Oh, I say that. It was 2015. It was Cologne 2015. Cloud9 G2A. They were allowed to have it on the sticker. Holy shit, it's actually there. I distinctly remember them being told they weren't allowed to do it for something, but their official name in the tournament was Cloud9 G2A. That you can see here. Oh, guys, I got 10 euros 30 in my inventory, in my wallet, guys. I'm not poor, I promise. I just don't put much in there. Yeah, Cloud9 G2A. Look at that. I remember this being an issue. Maybe I'm misremembering the story, but I remember it being a big issue. So I remember talking to Valve about it. Yeah. Maybe it was fine then. But as always with Valve, like things like this have changed and ebbed and flowed over time, as all things do, I guess. So hold on, Cologne 2015. Hold on, I'm going to find a VOD. Cologne 2015. I distinctly remember that was the event that had all the very weird, had the weird like reseeding of the bracket halfway through thing going on. Let's see if we can find a Cloud9 VOD. Okay, but the Cloud9 intro. That's fine. Let's watch this. I don't know if you guys can hear this.
Well, the group stage for us is one filled with familiar faces. We've played Virtus Pro.
You can see the logo, sports, G2A logo. There's Jordan. What a guy. What a guy. Is it just Jordan? Yeah, see Cloud9 G2A. It wasn't on the sticker though. It was just the maybe it was they weren't allowed it on the sticker, but their team name was allowed to be. Yes, Floofies, there was a Team PH, because no one was allowed to be Team Pornhub, because there's issues with advertising nudity and sexual content and stuff like that. All right, here we go. Yeah, there you go. They were called Cloud9 G2A.
Just gonna go wild, picks up 3 and.
Can you guys hear this, by the way? I was listening to Pansy. I love listening to Pansy commentate.
There's Dennis watching the back lines.
But yeah, Cloud9 G2A. But they weren't allowed it on the logo, so it was just the team name, which I guess was more reasonable. Who misses this, by the way? Like, who actually misses this? I miss this so much. This like random thing, like seeing the viewers in the Go TV, like. I don't get me wrong, the HUD sucks. Like this whole HUD thing sucks. But I miss the feeling of watching the major and like getting a sticker drop, like getting a box drop, like because you were watching and not just paying for it, or getting given one because you guessed right in something. Like this was fucking cool, man. I miss this shit so much. Oh. As a second note, guys, like if any of you want to go back and watch like one of the most like iconic matches of all time, this semi-final between VP and Fnatic was incredible. This was an incredible incredible series. Like this was a great series to go watch. They also played each other. No, VP played SK the following year. That was also a great series in the semi-final. But yes, yeah, Floofies. The first event to not use the in-game HUD was PGL Krakow 2017. Or I think technically PGL Krakow, the qualifier, was the first one. But yeah, this was the first custom HUD that we had. Way back when, but you can see it's not all custom. Like some of it's still the original, I think. But yeah, this was the first one. Man, CS:GO looks so good, right? Ah, memories, good memories, good memories. Right. Oh, well, here's a bit of breaking VRS news, I guess. Because I tried to cover this a few weeks ago because I had no idea about it. Here we go. Crossfire Cup. So this was, hold on, this was, so I randomly, I'll bring it up here, hold on. I randomly got this link sent to me a while back of, yeah, a $10,000 prize pool. Can't spell prize right. Sign-ups open, blah, 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 stage 1. They haven't updated any teams. The website looks pretty cool though, you know. The website looks pretty cool. They never updated it with any teams. As far as I can tell, I don't know who signed up or if anyone did sign up. I don't even know if the sign-ups are even... Yeah, the sign-ups never opened. Very weird event. What's this? business@crossfiregg.space. Weirdest email ever. But yeah, you can't sign up, but this event supposedly existed. Supposedly they made a reservation at the Kingwin Lounge to run their event, which, as you can see, has been removed for the reasons shared in this post. So there you go. That's a VRS update for you. I suppose it said. Is it? I suppose it is a VRS update because it's ranking related rather than tour related. But yeah, this was meant to take place in Gdansk. So I wish I knew how to say that word properly. I wish I knew how to say that word properly because it's such a weird. Like G and D do not follow each other in the English language, as far as I can tell, very much. So it's just like a weird one for people to say. So I'm assuming there is a way to say it, but yeah. Okay, so they were trying to use the same venue that Birch Cup was using, and they were going to use the same venue that Birch Cup was using the week before, but apparently that event is not happening. So, breaking news live. That's right. Okay, so I've done interviews, I've done photos, I've now done live news broadcasts. Like everything is just coming up for me to be a journalist at this point. Right. Guys, I think I'm done. I mean, it's been 2 hours nearly, I think. Hour and 45, sorry. It's been an hour and 45. I started late, didn't I? So I don't really think there's much more for me to go through. I think I'm clawing at sticks. Thank you for Daps for coming in and just giving me some random stuff to cover. Thanks for Flom for dropping by as well, and Slove, all the boys. Yeah, nice little discussion about sponsors and things like that, and who's allowed to broadcast, who's allowed to have a logo in the game, and all this kind of stuff. It's all good fun. It's all good fun. You know, it'd be nice if there was like a clear set of guidelines written by like a publisher or like someone with authority to write those guidelines. That would be like the ultimate. That would be like the ultimate thing that we could all aspire to get. But sadly, not everything is meant to be. Hey. Yeah, someone would have to enforce those guidelines, but I'm sure somebody competent could be found to both write and then subsequently enforce all that. But yeah, until we have it, I will not hold my breath. That is what I'll say. Guys, I think we're going to call it. Like I'm racking my brain. I am looking everywhere, and I am very sure I have run out of everything that is ready for this week. It feels very anticlimactic after last week, where we assumed it was going to be the last show, and it wasn't the last show. So we had another show, and I said all my goodbyes last week. It was a little bit emotional, but yeah, as I said, I think I said last week, my hope is that I will be able to continue this in some form moving forward, because I quite enjoy the show, and it gives me a sense of purpose and something to do. Lets me rant and rave and chat shit for a few hours every week, which I mean, I do that anyway, so it's not really too crazy, but yeah, it gives me an official place to do that. So yeah, I quite enjoy it, and yeah, we'll see if we can continue doing it. I don't foresee there being any blockers from the complexity side in stopping me doing it. But yeah, just have to make sure we check in with everything and dot the I's and cross the T's, as they say. I am pretty sure. I am pretty sure that this will be, in fact. I thought it was zoomed in slightly. God, it was. It was zoomed in from like 16 to 24, and that was why it felt like it was so close. I knew it. Yeah, I think this will be the last one now. Like I just don't foresee myself still being with complexity in a week, because honestly, like there's just not going to be that much to do next week. Like, it's just how it is. It's nothing personal. So that would be my assumption. But if I'm still here next week, I'll be back next week, because that is what we do. We do the job until the job is done. So yeah, if it's under complexity next week, it'll be right here, same place, same time. If it's not under complexity, if I'm not employed next week, I don't know if I'll necessarily do one straight away. I obviously have some considerations to keep making around future employment and where that will be, and who I might piss off by doing the show. One thing that I feel moderately strongly about is that whoever I do take employment with, that I'm not put on a leash, so to speak, because I do want to be able to speak my mind when I can and when I should. More importantly, when I should speak my mind, I want to be able to do that. I don't want to be put under a gag, so to speak, where I can't speak my mind. It does rule out potentially quite a few potential destinations. Whether those are realistic destinations for me, I don't know for sure. I've had a few interviews here and there and a few bits of interest here and there, but nothing, certainly nothing concrete at this point, which, there's interest and there's progress, which is good. Obviously wasn't expecting to, be signed a contract within a few weeks. I mean, technically I'm still employed, right? So it'd be a bit messed up if I could, but I'm, if I got offered something to start tomorrow, Complexity would just terminate the contract and we would just move on and I'd start tomorrow. Like, that wouldn't be an issue. But yes, we will see where I end up. I truly do not have any idea where I might end up. As I said, I've had a few interviews, few questions here and there, but nothing that I would say is concrete enough that I would expect an offer anytime soon. Some of them are just introductory meetings talking about what could make sense, what could we do, blah blah blah. Nothing financial discussed for one thing. Certainly haven't seen any detailed like job descriptions or anything like that. So yeah, still a long way to go on the job hunt, but we will get there soon enough, I'm sure. I'm not too concerned about the whole situation. I think it's something that will just resolve itself, in a reasonable fashion. But if you see me begging for a job in 2 months, if I haven't got a job by end of October, then I might get more desperate, and we'll see what happens. But I'm holding out a steady bit of hope that everything will be just fine. So yeah, it's don't have to worry for me quite yet, to say the least. Yeah, guys, I think we're done. Like I am out of things. I've said my goodbyes for the second time now in 2 weeks. Hopefully, it sounds so wrong to say, hopefully this is the last time that I'm employed on a Wednesday evening. But yeah, hopefully this is the last time I'm employed on a Wednesday evening by Complexity. Just because we need to all move on, and I don't want to be a drain on resources unnecessarily. It's not the right thing for anyone involved, really. So yeah, hopefully everything will be resolved by next week, and we'll be ready to say our goodbyes for realsies, for evs, But yeah, until we get to that point, still Complexity, which means I need you guys to go to the Complexity shop. You can buy a Complexity Legacy Tee, which I might have down here. Hold on. I don't know how I ended up in the Can't Stop the Flop. Is this the Legacy Tee? No, this isn't the Legacy Tee, right? This is not that one. What I do have, never got a chance to wear it because it's still in the bag. That is the Legacy Tee. That's the Legacy Tee in grey. I never got a chance to wear it. What else do I have here? Oh, the Legacy Tee in white. Also never got a chance to wear it. Look at me go. I do have the pink one, but the pink one is not ironed, and I can't bother to pick it up. Do you know what I have that I really, really liked? I don't think we sell it, if I'm honest. I don't think we sell it anymore. But I did have it's actually still wrapped. The white jersey with the blue trim, like this light blue trim. Oh man, I loved this jersey. This was so cool. I can't remember when we wore it. We wore it for like one event, I think. I think we wore it for a media day as well, because like we got like the black and red one, and the black and red one had like a misprint from the factory. So we wore the white ones for the media day, I think. I don't know which event it was. I think it was like a pro league. We wore the white ones for the media day because they were printed correctly with like the correct sponsors on the sides. But the black one wasn't. So yeah, I've literally just got a pile of Complexity clothes down here, which I took out of my suitcase before I went to Draculan, and I just haven't had the heart to do anything with it yet. But luckily, I had my Can't Stop the Flop Ricky Floppy Camry t-shirt available to wear today, which in hindsight I probably shouldn't have worn because we don't sell it anymore, so I can't pimp it out, but got to support my boy Ricky. Yeah. All right, guys. Guys, I've got a question here, because I'm sure I've opened one. I'm sure I've got one somewhere. I made sure to keep all of my Complexity jerseys, at least one of each one. Does anyone want some of my old Complexity clothes? They're all in a size large, which is optimistic for me because I always used to squeeze into some of them. But I've got a few obviously completely unopened jerseys. I don't think anyone necessarily wants a messioso jersey on their back, but maybe you want to just keep the white jersey and like frame it, and then you don't have to see the name on it, which is one thing. But yeah, I've also got these shirts. I've got a bunch of stuff that I've never even got around to opening because I didn't get around to opening it, or it just is what it is. So yeah, I'll have to do a bit of a clear out. Some of the stuff I want to keep. Some of the stuff is clean. Some of the stuff I just want to keep because it's nice memories and it's nice clothes. But yeah, maybe in a few weeks, once I've gone through everything and made sure I've kept all the stuff I need to keep, there'll be some unopened stuff that I can give away to people because yeah, it's no use to me, and I this is going to sound bad. I just want to clarify. I don't like putting stuff like that into like donation bins or charity bins because I don't think the value of what it is will necessarily be appreciated by the people who would receive it. Not because I don't like donating to charity. I donate a lot of my old clothes to charity. I just don't think things like that are best suited for like charity donation bins. So I'll keep donating my regular clothes to to those, but anything that might be like slightly more valuable slash how do you say, people can appreciate them more because they understand what it is. I might try and keep some of those things separate and then try and give them away in some capacity because yeah, don't want it to be sitting here rotting. My wife will kill me if I keep all this stuff because I already have way too much stuff, like way too much stuff. I found the jersey pile recently of like all the old jerseys. I was like, oh shit, I need to go through them all and make sure I keep the ones that are valuable and the ones I want to keep. I think we've been through like seven different jerseys if you include like variants and like different colors and stuff. So there's quite a few, and I want to keep all of them, obviously, or at least one of all of them. So yeah, we will get back to that in a few weeks once I've gone through it all. I mean, I should be able to go through it all in like a day, but I just have a feeling it's going to take me a few weeks because I mean, priorities, right? Just going to try and find a job first, and then I'll say goodbye to the old stuff. But yeah, we're going to check out, guys. It's been 1 hour, 57 minutes and 18 seconds since I started the stream, and it's getting pretty late here. It's 11:30 p.m. at night. Signing out for what I assume to be, but we're not 100% confirmed to be, the final Untitled CS Show, at least under the Complexity banner, at least under the Complexity stream. Yeah. We'll be back maybe soon, someday. We'll see. Until then, have a great Wednesday afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And yeah, don't be a stranger. As always, I'll spam it here. You can join the... Oh my god, I got it wrong again. You can join the Discord, which is there. You can join the Discord. That's the Complexity Discord. Join the CS channel specifically, and you will find me there pretty much 24/7. Yeah, I like to talk Counter-Strike all the time. I like to talk about things that are going on in the ecosystem. I'll be there for at least a few weeks, I assume, unless they completely shut it down, which I highly doubt, just to clarify. But unless they shut it down, I'll be there for a few weeks until, I guess, interest begins to wane, and maybe it's weird for me to be there when I'm not employed and everything else. But yeah, we will be there. Feel free to join. I like to chit chat, and yeah, gonna play the outro now, and remember to mute my mic because it doesn't mute my mic, and hopefully the music isn't too loud. Sometimes it can be too loud, so yes, ciao for now, guys.